What can you do to a plastic worm that'll probably get you a few more bites? But honestly, it's a little pain in the hiney. Good morning, guys and girls. May 15, May 1-5, Proverbs, my favorite book of Proverbs. Proverbs 15:4, very short, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Dishonest words crush the spirit. Dishonest words crush the spirits. Things that you say that are not true that crush the spirit. Whose spirit? Yours or somebody else's? Actually both. Actually both. Dishonest words crush the spirits, because if you're speaking falsehood to somebody else, eventually that's going to come back and hurt you. It happens every time. Let's see what I wrote about that. We've got hundreds of bluegill, maybe thousands of bluegill that hang around our dock. My grandkids love to catch these fish. I do too. They like to use those Berkeley crappie nibbles. This is a prepared power bait that we use. We tip little hooks with them, and we tip little small road runners with them, just right on the end of it. And with a small hook, it's dynamite for these small panfish. The problem is that the little ones, the little bluegill, steal the bait often without our grandkids even knowing that they had a bite. Remind me just a little bit later, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we've changed to. We wrote this book quite a few years ago. And we've actually used another little Berkeley power bait that's even better, and they have a hard time getting that off the hook. So I'm going to throw that in here in just a little bit when we get around to the tip. Okay, there's a little built-in larceny in everyone. Ooh. Wait a minute. I know you're saying, wait a minute, Jimmy, not me. There's a little built-in larceny in everyone. The devil uses this to hurt others, especially in what we say. It's human nature. It's one of the things we're born with. We're born with the propensity to lie. We're born with the propensity to steal. We're born with the propensity to do things that we're not supposed to be doing. It's called sin. It's built into us. We've got to overcome it. Words can be more damaging than physical pain. If the truth hurts, how much more will a lie? You hear it all the time. The truth hurts. Well, how much more a lie? Be extra careful to not let Satan lead you into a falsehood. Satan is trying to get you to lie. He's trying to get you to say something bad about somebody. After all, God wants us to use our words to build up, not crush. He wants us building up the spirit of others and inside of ourselves, not to crush. So be careful what you say. Don't let the devil lead you into a little lie, because you don't want to crush your spirit or somebody else's. Our fishing tip this week: rattles often produce extra bites on a plastic worm. Yeah, they do. But they are kind of a pain to fish with, because every time you put a plastic worm on, if you're going to put a rattle in it, and the very best rattles to use are the little small tiny glass rattles. They're little pieces of glass. They got a little tiny split shot in them, or a little tiny shot in them, and they'll just rattle back and forth. So and they're pointed on the end. You just slide them into your plastic worm, and it's put the plastic worm, slide them all the way in, and then pull the worm back where they're completely inside your plastic worm. So every time you shake your rod, those rattles are going to rattle a little bit. And a lot of times, that's the difference in getting a bite and not getting a bite. I mean, but let me tell you, it is a pain to use them for several reasons. One, you're having to add them to your worm every single time. You got to get it in there. You still want your worm hanging straight and real pretty. Once you lose a worm, you lose your rattles, and you got to use more. You can buy those at Bass Pro Shop, and they come in little packages. They're inexpensive, but they are sort of a pain in the hiney to use. But they will often get you a lot more bites. Now, let me go back to that other little tip that I was talking about. I told you to remind me of. And your other little tip is that these little crappie nibbles, and they work good, and they're designed to catch crappie, and they got little sparkles on them, release a little sparkle in the water, and that's good too. It attracts fish. But we have gone to where we're actually starting to use the little, it's kind of like little red wigglers. That may be what they're called, but it's a little power bait, come in a little deal, and they're little. They look like little tiny red wiggler earthworms, They got the power bait built into them. We take a pair of scissors and just snip off a little bit and put those on a little brim hook or a bluegill or a perch hook, and that's what we're fishing with now. And it's much more difficult for those bluegill and bait fish to get those off. So you can buy those at Bass Pro. Just pick you up a little bottle. A bottle goes a long way, and I don't know what they cost, $3 or $4 a bottle, but it goes a long way. They're one of the baits you can buy that you can definitely get a lot of your money's worth. So if you're fishing around for bluegill, kids fish for bluegill, and as long as you keep them, once you take them out and let air get to them, they're going to dry out. But as long as you just take a little, one or two out and put your cap back on, they last a long time. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great day today. The middle of May, perfect fishing just about everywhere. I love you.